What's up, guys? Rachel and Simran J here, joining the OES Stories podcast to talk about the season so far and what their thoughts are ahead of tomorrow's game.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you for coming on. So, Rachel, Simran, you guys have been with OES basketball since your freshman years and have experienced quite a turnaround since, I believe, in your sophomore year. I don't know how many league games
One league game.
You won one league game.
Class Canal. Second time we played them.
It was a really good win, but we would have liked to add a couple more.
So what does it mean to you guys to now be going to state since last year not last year, but 2 years ago when you guys only won one league game? How has that turnaround been for you guys, and how has it been for the team?
Yeah. It's definitely been a process. Our sophomore year when we only won one league game, it was quite the frustrating season, and I don't think many people on the team really believed in the OES girls basketball program, and definitely our peers and faculty at the school didn't believe. So to turn around from that and where we were to having tons of fans out of the games and having everyone believe that we could win the league championship almost, or even go to state, that's been huge.
And then also being with a similar set of girls in second grade for us, and being part of the OES basketball programs all the way back then. It's been an incredible senior season, and when we walked on the stage and looked to our right, and saw all the fans in front of us, I was completely shocked.
Yeah.
So it's been great. It's been great.
Yeah, I'd say this year even it seems like the women's team has garnered more support than the men's team, which is something that I usually don't think about at a place like OES, because in my earlier years at OES, the guys' teams always got the later games, or they always had more fans. But this year, I mean, it's completely flipped upside down. What do you think, maybe not just from basketball, has contributed to that?
I mean, it's a good question. I haven't been to many sporting events, so I can't comment for other teams. But I think there's been we've built our teams up for the girls basketball program, and I think there's been a lot of success, which may have contributed to the fan and crowd size. But
we've had a lot of individual fans who have been very dedicated to the team. Like you see a couple of our friends, a couple teachers just coming out to every single game, even away games. And I think they've sort of attracted other people, and word has got out that we're actually fun to watch this year, in our opinion. And so
not that we're biased.
Not at all.
I'd agree, but
thank you, Colin. So I think it's been great. I mean, in our 2 home game playoff games that we had last week, to see like the stands basically filled, and not just with our friends, but also with the boys' teams, middle schoolers, faculty members. That's been special.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys went through a coaching change in the middle of high school. You now have Brad. How would you say that? What kind of attitude would you say Brad has implemented that's turned this team around?
I'd say Brad has believed in the success of the program since the day he took over for our former coach. I mean, we sat down with him at the beginning of the season and set our goals, which were to win league, which we unfortunately fell short on. We wanted to go to state, and we wanted to get to Goose Bay, and obviously win state is always the goal of every team. So he's really believed in those goals and helped us towards those goals, and I think that has been very helpful for the success of our team.
There's a sense of work ethic and drive that have come with Brad's coaching that I think has really helped out. Sometimes we'll have little mini talks. What's Smiley call them? Story time with Bradley. That I'd say it definitely helps bring the team together. We had a motto: just keep winning, just keep winning. Just like from Finding Nemo. So I think there's a lot of little things that he's done that has helped our team and the mentality of our team in some regards.
I think we most of the time have a good balance between this hard work ethic and also this ability to have fun and establish strong connections with each other. Brad described it as a sisterhood. I think, we'll take it.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, true. He is correct in that matter. So it's super tight-knit group, and it's just fun to be around these girls.
So you mentioned the little things that Brad has done, but obviously with the team, everybody has their role. I know Simran usually was like the first person off the bench or one of the first people off the bench.
Drains threes.
Right, and Jonah Song even nicknamed you Instant Offense coming off the bench.
Yes.
And Rachel, you started off the bench at the beginning of the year, but as I saw, you started to move more and more towards the top of the rotation. So this is more geared towards Simran, I guess, and you a little bit because you came off the bench as well. But how would you say that coming off the bench, what kind of attitude would you say coming off the bench establishes, given that, you know, ideally you'd want to start, but your role is, you know, coming off the bench, maybe six-man?
For me, the entire atmosphere of the bench is so supportive. Like, I think we have a very strong group mentality on the whole, where people really aren't concerned with, I need to get this many minutes, or else, you know, I'm going to shut down, to how can I best support my team outside. And if it's clapping and cheering loudly, then they're all for it. And at least for me, whenever I'd go onto the court, my goal was to play the best I can, but ultimately I had trust in the coaching staff that they're making the best decisions for the team, and my goals are not. I have individual goals, like play as hard as you can, try to hit your shots, don't do turnovers, but for me it was never like I need to play at least a third of the game or a fourth of the game, etc. And I think the majority of the bench has that trust in the coaching staff and that bigger group mentality rather than that individual focus. Yeah.
And I will say this is one of the deepest teams that I've ever been on. Like, you see other teams have maybe 1-star player or 2-star players, but we have like 11, 12.
Yeah, like Riverdale, the guys' team had a 6-man rotation, and they were playing full court in zone the whole time with a 6-man rotation.
Yeah.
Which I think is definitely a stark contrast to what you guys do. You guys still run a lot of zone. You guys tend to really succeed, in my opinion, in the 2-3.
Yeah, that's what I trademark.
Especially like with a lot of the depth you have, you guys are more capable of pulling off something like that. So, talking more about defense and sort of strategy for upcoming, we don't need to know the whole strategy because there could be some haters out there. But, so, personally, I've noticed the 2-3 works pretty well. What would you say works for you guys the best, and what do you guys think would work the best for the state playoffs? Because that's a whole nother beast that you have to slay.
True. Yeah, well, we're kind of taking it one game at a time. So we know that our goal is Coos Bay in the championship, but we also know we have to beat Pleasant Hill on Saturday to get there. So we've got a little bit of film on them, and they are great at driving, very aggressive, not the greatest shooters. So because of that, we're likely going to play a 2-3 zone. This isn't going up till after the game, right?
I can make it that.
Okay.
That's what I like to hear.
So yeah, that's the plan, and I have so much confidence in our defense because I think we're ranked number 1 for 6A to 2A in points allowed.
2-2A.
Yeah,
that's
points
impressive.
allowed per game in the state. So that's definitely something we pride ourselves on, and a lot of that comes down to work ethic and
Getting
a lot of
out and
communication. Yeah,
because defense is personally, and I would say on the whole, much harder to play than offense. And it requires a lot more energy, and I think our communication on defense has improved significantly throughout the course of the season and over the course of the last few years, to the point where people are confident in saying, you know, shooter, cutter, whatever it may be, which has really helped overall.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I totally agree with everything about the defense. Like, it seems like I, as a fan, and you guys as the players, we've all sort of come to this conclusion that OES has really found its niche as a team and how they're going to be able to maximize their results given what they're good at and best at. So defense has definitely been otherworldly for you guys. Offensively, how would you say that the defense has allowed you guys to improve offensively with efficiency and with just flat out scoring?
Well, I think we're a momentum team, I'd say. So when we are able to get those turnovers on defense, I think the team really builds off of that and ends up having more success on offense. Also, I think we've scored a lot of points off turnovers, and that also impacts the other team mentally. So I'd say that's the biggest.
And then I would say on offense, we have a team that likes to drive. We have a team on the whole that are really just basketball players. Like if you look at a lot of our offenses, whether it's spread or weave or whatever it may be, a lot of them are just set screens, pick and rolls, find lanes to drive when there's not much that's really set in stone, which allows for, Rachel, Lauren, Grace, Wiley, the entirety of the team really to drive into those holes and do what they can with the basketball. And a lot of that energy, I think, comes from being effective on defense and having a team that is, in shape and quick and able to get to the ball. For sure.
So I'm gonna make this my last question because it's free block. You guys have weekends. What would you say is your final message to OES, the fans, the supporters, the teachers, everyone? What's your final message to everyone? In terms of basketball, not just graduate.
I mean, part of it is I just appreciate all of them for believing in the girls basketball program, because to see, I've said it multiple times already, but to see that many teachers and our peers out there supporting has been very special, and it's really helped the team's performance, I'd say. And there's more to come. I think, although we were very proud of the season we had this year in terms of getting second in league, we obviously always have higher expectations and would love to make our mark in Coosbay. And looking down the road to next season's, even though we won't be here, I have confidence that Lauren, Grace, Wiley, Izzy, Emily, all Rachel Holzman, Ava, it's too many to count. But I'm confident that they'll continue this legacy, and OES girls basketball will become one of the top teams in the state.
Yeah, and then for me, because I've only played basketball at school, I never did anything outside. So looking at all the support I got through middle school, then JV, my freshman year, coming up to varsity, all the coaching staff, the teachers, my parents, everyone who's been part of the basketball community, just a big thank you to them because I mean, at least for me, I'm the player I am now because of them. And I would say, at least in high school, there have been major shifts in our team, and the personnel has remained pretty constant for the most part. And I think that goes a lot of that credit goes to coaching staff and fans and teachers.
Yeah.
All right,
Big things are coming.
That's going to be it. Thank you guys for joining the podcast. Let's hope for a big move to the next round.
I like that.
With the first round state playoff win. Thank you guys for jumping on the show.
Of course, thank you.
And, well, good luck, ball, whatever else is good luck for basketball players.
Thank you,
I don't know the rest, but
awesome.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Thanks, mate.